right. Hello, hello, hello. Um, Today's June 9th, 2025. There's a full moon tonight. Well, I think it'll be peak full moon on the 11th. I'm not sure. Um, anyway, I just wanted to turn the camera on for however long I sit here and ramble about a couple of different topics, but ultimately the same topic. I'm not sure yet if I'm gonna pull cards. I just feel I just feel like I want to talk and sort out some thoughts in my head. And usually I write this stuff down. Sometimes I share it on my blog. Sometimes I don't. Just like sometimes I share these videos and sometimes I don't. I'm not entirely sure I'm going to share this video, but we'll see what happens. Um, but here we are. Here we are. So there's a lot of chaos happening in the United States of America. I mean, what else is new? And I'm leading off with this because it was about 2 years ago that I had the spirit come to me all frantic and whatnot. The energy was very frantic and fearful to tell me that the person who was currently in charge of America basically would be returning. And I was like, well, I wasn't sure about it. I was, like I said, I'm rambling, okay? I'm rambling. And that's the purpose of this video is to ramble and to get my thoughts together. So, at the time, this was back in 2023, like October, November 2023. And this is when I really began to like fully embrace, I don't want to call it mediumship. I don't know if I call myself a medium or not, but I have ways of speaking with people I can't see, right? And they have their ways of speaking to me. And so anyway, it was one night around about, fall of 2023 that somebody came to me, and when she was living, she was a very well-known figure. But she wanted me to keep her identity under wraps. I'm like, well, who am I going to tell? Here we are now, a year and a half later, and I'm sitting here on camera talking about it. But anyway, she told me that he would be, or that he is one of the most powerful people ever. And basically to get ready, and get ready, save what I can, not just money. I mean, save as much money as I can, but, save stuff like, survival stuff, food and things like that. So I say, okay, all right. But in my mind at the time, I was thinking, surely after all the things that we saw and experienced from 2016 to 2020, we this man wouldn't be back in office again. And here we are. It's 2025 and he's back in office again. So I said, well, hell, I guess she was right. You know? I guess she was right. And just to see how things have been going so far. And, it's only been, 5 months? Not even 5 months yet. Well, since he's been sworn in, and so much has happened. And so, a few weeks ago, about 6 weeks ago, I had another spirit who was also fairly well known while he was still here on this side of life, but um, he didn't swear me to secrecy about his name, but I'm not going to say it anyway because, you know. But anyway, he told me, yeah, you got 6 weeks. I'm like, 6 weeks before what? He said, basically before shit hits the fan. And I'm like, okay. All right. And so here we are, 6 weeks later. There's been some conflict between the peoples who are in charge of the country. And now we have some riots going on over in Los Angeles. And then earlier today, just a couple hours ago, I learned about something called the Golden Dome and how that's under construction, and it's a project that's been in the works for a long time, but they're really trying to ramp it up here now, and that makes me wonder about where we're going next. But we have officially entered the stage where, like, if we didn't think it before, if we didn't feel like it before, if it wasn't happening before, if it didn't seem like it was happening before, it's definitely happening now. So everything that was happening before was just, it was leading up to this transition period that is happening right now where shit is hitting the fan, okay? And it's disturbing. It is. Now, for me personally, and other people like me, just who have no positions of importance, in the government, local, statewide, whatever. We don't have positions of power within law enforcement. We're just regular, everyday people. You wonder, how does this affect us? Well, it trickles down to us. It trickles down to us one way or another. There are things that are happening outside of our little bubbles, our respective bubbles, battles that are being fought that we have no idea, because there are people and systems in place that keep us from the other dangers that are out there, right? And so some of the things that I was reading about when it came to this Golden Dome and other systems like it, it reminded me of the fact that there are battles being fought and there are things happening on this planet that the average person like myself have no clue about, and we don't have to worry about it because we have our military and stuff. But for there to be such a huge push for it now, it makes me wonder what else is going on, right? So what else is happening that they're not telling us? What are they preparing for that they're not telling us? And I mean, it's probably for good reason that they don't tell us. Because I've said it before, and I'll say it again, and I'll continue to say it. I don't think that gatekeeping is a derogatory term. I don't think gatekeeping is a bad thing. So, everybody don't need to know everything. But it makes me wonder. It makes me wonder. You know. And so, slightly off topic, but still on topic. spirit communication and having people come speak to me and tell me about things that are going on. And I'm like, why the hell are you telling me about it? What can I do? And it's like, well, there's nothing that you can do, and there's nothing that's meant for you to do. You just have to prepare yourself and your loved ones for whatever's about to happen. Just be ready, because you don't want to get caught slipping, right? Stay ready so you don't have to get ready. Like, keep a stockpile, keep your savings, so that when it does get really, really bad, you won't be out here scrambling, scraping, crying, because you'll know, right? You'll know what's going on. You'll already have had prior knowledge to what's going on. So, like, I don't have details, just make that clear. I don't have details about anything. I just received the general warning, like, hey, you better get ready, because it's not about to be pretty at all. I'm not trying to make it seem like it's the end of the world. I don't think it's doomsday. I just think that we're what seemed like was already a rough time actually wasn't that bad, but it will be. It will be for the collective, for the general population. Is going to be rough. People were crying before about getting laid off and having $18 eggs. Like, well, baby, it's not going to get any better anytime soon. I came into 2024 knowing that 2025 wasn't going to be shit. So here I am spreading this word to let you know. So you do what you need to do. You say whatever protective prayers you need to say. You get your finances in order. Maybe get a little bit more strategic about your grocery shopping. Make your list and maybe add an extra canned good or two to your shopping list, an extra bag of flour. I mean, something, because I'm concerned. I am concerned. But outside of that, going back to the topic of spirit communication and everything, like I was saying before, late 2023 or around about fall 2023 was when I really started to dive deeper into this type of communication, right? Like, I mean, I've been working with cards and stuff for years and years. But I fully opened up the door, I suppose you could say, to more direct communication between me and the folks on the other side of the veil around about that time. And it's been interesting because I've had all types of people from all walks of life, from different time periods, people who may have died long before I was born, to come and speak to me, to seek me out. And it's, to this day, still kind of hard to believe it, but then I'll see something or I'll hear something and I'll learn something, and it validates my experiences or these conversations that I've had with these folks, to let me know that I didn't just make it up, right? It wasn't all in my head. So even the readings that I've done in the past, that at the time I thought, well, hell, I guess I was wrong. Like, maybe I read the cards wrong or something. Like, I did a few readings. I've said it before in other videos. I'll say it again. I did a few readings over the most recent presidential election in the United States. And most of the time, in those readings, it was a toss up. It could have went. It really could have went either way. But then the one that I published, the one that I shared, was the one where I saw Kamala in the cards. I saw Kamala Harris winning the presidency, right? And here we are. It's June 2025. We're 8 months after the election, and I was wrong, right? I'm starting not to think so. I'm starting to think that I saw what I saw. I'm starting to think that I saw what I saw on those cards, and what I saw was her. I wasn't like some of the other readers and astrologers and stuff who were like, oh, they didn't see Donald Trump making it to the inauguration. Like, no, I didn't get all of that. But I saw, I'm not even gonna say everything that I saw, because I don't I ain't trying to speak it. You gonna put that on me. But I saw her in leadership. I saw her in the seat. And with everything that happened between the current president and the Tesla guy, things that he has said, the Tesla guy has said, I'm like, I don't think I was wrong with what I saw on those cards. I don't think I was wrong at all. But getting back to the initial point, though, was the validation and confirmation, right? Validation and confirmation, because again, everything isn't meant to be shared. That might have been one of those readings where I was supposed to just keep it to myself, but shit is scary sometimes. It is. It really and truly is. And so whenever I see stuff that happens, now I get told about this stuff, where I see it in the cards, and then weeks or months later I see it unfolding, and it's like, yeah, this invisible person told me. call the invisible person. I don't have the gift to be able to actually see people, thank God. I don't know how I would cope if I could actually see these folks. But so I'm good with this. Just having my little deck of cards. But man, another example of this would be with I'm not going to get too deep with names either here with this, but would be some of the first readings I did that I shared publicly on a certain musical artist who died under kind of mysterious circumstances. And there's a lot of information that he shared with me that I didn't share, as far as like who might have been involved and everything, because the official story for this particular music artist was that he became sick all of a sudden, and he went to the hospital and he ended up dying from a botched medical procedure. Well, my conspiracy theory was that he didn't actually. My conspiracy theory was that the procedure was botched on purpose, right? And so anyway, without getting too far into that, specifically the procedure part and like the how it happened part. I do know that there was some like a ritualistic element to it, um, as far as folks making basically deals with the devil. Now whether it's the actual devil or it's like a devil incarnate, whatever you want to call it, like there was some sort of something happening, right? And I believe that it was some bad juju that they threw his way. And he gave me the names of a few folks who might have participated in this bad juju, who might have touched and agreed on this bad juju being thrown his way. And I wanted to deny it or be in denial about it because, you know, a couple of those names that he named was like, these folks made up the soundtrack to my childhood, you know. I'm like, sure, like, why would they do that? Why? But I've seen in the last year or so where one of these names has been getting called out for just doing kind of shady stuff, stealing music and not giving people their right credit for it and everything. Because the part, I wondered why. Like, why would anybody participate in these rituals like this? Why would they? Like, it seemed like it's a lot. I know that there's a lot of shadiness that happens in the entertainment industry. But as far as actually going through with certain harmful rituals and everything, like, why would they do that? What is the purpose behind, like, sacrificing or energy harvesting and all of that? And so, I guess, in so many words, I guess he said, I can show you better than I can tell you. Like, just watch, just watch. And so, that's what I've been doing, is just watching. And to see what's happening with him now, again, I'm not going to say his name, but I don't think it's that hard to guess who I'm talking about. But he apparently just signed like a AI artist, and that's a big deal because you're supposed to be a musician. You're supposed to care about musicianship and artistry. You're considered to be one of the greatest of your generation, and you're signing a robot. You're signing an algorithm to your label, or you're employing an algorithm, or to your label. I believe that AI is a spirit anyway, but that there's a spirit that governs technology. That's what I believe, and so by proxy, AI is a spirit. And even if you want me to break it down to my pseudoscience, like, well, crystals and minerals are used in technology. Crystals have spirits that govern them, and so therefore the materials that are used to build this technology are governed by a spirit. Therefore, the technology itself is governed by a spirit, right? I don't know if that makes sense or not. It may not have, but in my head, it makes sense. I believe dang near everything has a spirit attached to it. That's me and my woo woo stuff. So anyway, yeah, he's employing the use of AI to make music, and it's like, sir, you made some of the most iconic. Like, you have such a distinctive sound. Your productions have such a distinctive production, right? And now you're going to, like, you produced some of the greatest R&B artists that came out of the 1990s and the early 2000s, and you just signed an artificial intelligence bot. And so anyhow, going back to the musician that I was talking about before, who passed away, botched medical procedure that may not have been unintentional or accidental, may not have just been the result of negligence, but maybe there was a little intentionality in there. Um, he told me that it was essentially energy harvested for him. That happened. It's like a little piece of him, a little piece of his um, artistic talent, energy. I don't know how to phrase it. Was taken from him in order to boost up this man's career, his talent, his connections, all of that jazz, right? I'm like, but I mean, y'all already had that. Like y'all had been locked in for years, right? Before it's like, yeah, so so yeah, so it's scary. It's scary because like, why would you do that? Why would you do that? You're supposed to be here in this day and age where we're fighting to stay human. Basically, you're gonna hire a damn robot to make music. After allegedly being involved in the energy harvesting of somebody who was close to you, one of your an artist who you were very close to, you came out the trenches with them. So it's like, hell, maybe I actually was talking to him. Maybe it's just further proof that the spirit of this person who passed away is actually who he claims to be. Because he's been telling me about this guy for a while now. Like, hell, I didn't even know this man existed until about 3-4 years after he died. I never knew who he was. I mean, I had seen him apparently because I watched all the other artists that they had been associated with throughout the 90s. I watched their videos, I listened to their music, so I knew of him. I just didn't know him. Not until a few years after he passed, and then that's when he just kind of popped up, and I was like, who are you? But yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. So anyhow, I think that's the. I think I will pull a couple of cards. I don't know what about. Um, I don't even know if I have a question in particular. I just have something in mind. About this. Maybe I should just go through and ask. When it comes to this current political situation, just give me something. I don't know. See, I'm doing this. Tonight is a full moon. Tonight is a full moon. And what I have learned about the full moon, or about the moon in general, just the spirit that governs the moon, is that it's all about things being revealed, the things that come out at night, the secrets that come out, things that lurk in the dark, being able to come out and be seen. So let me see. ask about the political climate. What's going on? Nice. The Five of Swords, conflict. It's the Empress in reverse. Uh, hmm. Got the Seven of Wands, upright. And we got the Star. There's hope. I think this is in regards to what I was saying earlier about my reading before, when it came to Kamala Harris winning the election. I don't think I was wrong. I do not think I was wrong. Again, I don't know details. I want to put that out there. I don't know details. I just don't think I was wrong in my assessment of that. There's the Hangman. Two, I was about to call this the world. Two of Wands. I don't know if she's doing anything or if her virtual silence. I mean, she said a few things here and there. She's not required to say anything. She's a private citizen now. But I think her not saying anything before, it was very intentional. Like, as far as them not saying anything, not arguing, not pushing the point. I think when she didn't concede right away, she didn't come out say anything. She just kind of sat and waited for several hours before she finally reappeared in public after the election results had been determined. She waited. I think she was going through a lot. I think she's going through a lot at the time. But, and I think she knew. I think she knew. I mean, it don't take much to know. But we got to be careful with how we argue certain points because, you know, we don't want to go around talking about stuff was rigged and, you know, there's the Eight of Swords reversed. Because we don't want to sound like the people that we don't like, right? Yeah. And the King of Cups upright. Yeah, I stand by that reading. And you got the Judgment in reverse. I stand by what I said in that reading. I think she's supposed to have won. Now, where we are now also is, like I said, there is some hope. For some of us anyway, there's some hope. Because some of us tend to thrive when the rest of the world is in chaos. It is what it is. And I kind of feel like there's a biblical element to that, like whether you believe in the Bible or not. I think the Bible has a lot of good, there's a lot of good points in there. And one of them is about the meek inheriting the earth. And so it'll be the lesser of us, right? Those of us who struggle the most or who are constantly towing the line. Those of us who ain't had no choice but to learn how to budget. Who've had to learn how to be resourceful. We will be the ones who end up, because there's just like this great rebalancing that's happening. Like the scales have been tipping for a while, you know what I'm saying? And I think it comes because of the greed of somebody, right? The greed and power hunger from a certain somebody or somebodies, right? Certain group of folks. And so it's going to be the end of them. If that makes sense. But it's not it's going to happen quickly, but it's not like it's just going to happen tomorrow. But it's going to happen fairly quickly. So this is the time, really, like for the little person. Like this has two meanings for me, right? The Two of Wands and the Hangman together. This means a couple of things for me in my mind. Um, there's a plan that's happening. There are things that are being done that we might not know about, right? That are happening with the people who make the laws and the folks who got access to the little red buttons that have the potential to destroy the planet. There are some plans. There are some things that are going on. Okay, what they are, I don't know. I don't have details. Okay, I don't know nothing. So let's just let's just sit there. I don't know. I know nothing. Okay, but I theorize that that these things are happening. However, while they are planning, the average person, just a regular everyday somebody, I don't know. Like I said again, I don't know who. If I'm gonna share this video, and if I do share this video, how many people will watch it? It might just be 2 people who watch it. I don't think it really matters, because I could just be talking to myself in this video. But this is just a matter of strategy, planning. How are you going to make things work in your own favor and in the favor of those around you? Now, this is not just about individualism. This is each one teach one. You got to help other folks too, because nothing is free in this life. Everything is energy, and you circulate your energy. Like, there's a coming together that needs to happen. There's a coming together that needs to happen. And there's also like a need to let things go. Because like we trap ourselves with some things, materially as well as emotionally, spiritually, emotionally, spiritually. We trap ourselves with certain things. So now's the time to be released from said trap. Because if not, we end up being the victims of whatever. Now's the time to become the king of your emotions, right? Use some sense. Act like you got some, first of all, but use some sense. Because it's coming. It is coming. So it's just about educating yourself, which unfortunately, a lot of folks do not take the time not to do that. Just to educate yourself. See, why they trying to ban books and everything? Like, the books are banned, I think, from like not public library, but like public school libraries. And hell, they had a way to ban books from bookstores. I'm sure they would. Hell, they had a way to close bookstores. I'm sure they would. Hell, there ain't enough of y'all that read anyway. Let me stop. I'm sorry, this is just one of my pet peeves when people don't read. Like, just get in the habit of reading. Like, read the whole news article before you comment. Word. Of like what's happening here. We got things. Observation. What have I been saying? I've been saying collect, stock up, and watch. Get ready. There's perfection. Perception. Labor. And innocent with forgiveness and faith on the bottom of the deck here. Objectivity, attention. See, my folks are in here because I can pull from every last deck I have, and I lost count of how many decks of cards I have, and they'll say the same thing every time. This is about starting anew. This is about watching, looking, observing. I mean, we got observation and perception both popping up in here. Both of them talk about watching and just seeing things out. And I've been sitting here talking about that, about how they give me messages about stuff, basically so that I can sit back and watch and prepare for it. You know, I can go ahead and put it in the work now so I can get ready for it. Whatever it is, that we collect the things. Not to be so attached to the things. But just like, be ready. Just watch. Like, just watch. Because, like, it's about to shift. This whole new beginning right here. This innocence. This child right here. Child represents, you know, in most cases, the child represents something new, something different. Something is about to change. Something is happening, you know. There's masked, hiding, concealing, deception. Feminine energy. There's a woman again. It's a woman. Apology. Narcissist. Karmic. Psychopath. See, it's something. There's something. Something is up. I'm not gonna say what I'm thinking. Something is up. For one, somebody is not in as good of health as he claims, because, you know, as long as he appears to be in better health than the other guy, you know, he has the one up. But I don't know what's about to happen though. I don't know. I have these wild theories in my head, but again, I'm not going to say everything that I'm thinking, because I actually try to be halfway responsible when I talk on the internet. But I think this card down here at the bottom is interesting. Smell the roses. Because this is about slowing down, taking your time, and just kind of relaxing a little bit. Because, personal story, anecdote, I am in a period of my life where work has slowed down for me a little bit. And there are a couple of things that are happening in my life right now. I mean, I'm still working. but not at the rate that I was a few months ago. And it's not totally by my choice. But I was thinking about it today, actually, about how this is kind of what I prayed for, right? Like, I want to have an easy life. I would like to have an easy life. I don't want to work myself into an early grave, you know. My mama did that. And it wasn't a pretty sight, you know. But if I can manage what I have now, it's like we'll be fine, right? We'll be fine. And so this faith and forgiveness card that's at the bottom, forgiveness and faith, is at the bottom of this deck. And then this smell the roses is at the bottom of this one. It's just making me think about that, about my ability to manifest things. I mean, I know a lot of people think that it's all hogwash, manifestation and all of that jazz, but like it's, in my personal experience, it's very real. You know, it's very real. You can manifest things. There's law of attraction is a thing, right? But it's hard for me to manifest the things that I want or need whenever I'm stressed. And so there's been a big emphasis while I've been sitting up talking with my ancestors and stuff lately, trying to figure things out, figure out if I'm doing anything wrong. And they reassure me that, you're fine. You are fine. You are exactly where you need to be. They've said it like so many different ways. You are exactly where you need to be at. And I'm like, well, I feel like I should be doing more, or like I'm not doing enough. And no, you're where you're supposed to be at. You're doing what you're supposed to do. You're where you need to be at. Just stay here. And so, what it looks like right now is like my workload is not that heavy, and that's not a bad thing. I promise it's not a bad thing. It's just it feels wrong, you know. It makes me want to panic a little bit. But when I sit back and think about it, I'm like, well, no, everything is really okay. It really is. It's just not what I'm used to, because I feel like I need to be working like a dog in order to feel like we're gonna be all right. And that's not how it's supposed to be, you know. That's not at all how it's supposed to be. And so it is a regular, steady exercise for me personally to stay grounded. And I feel like I come around to the same message every time I do a reading of this nature about just staying grounded. Like, it's okay. It is okay. Like, it will be okay. Regardless of what is happening in the world, you individually will be okay. You, your family, your village, your small village will be okay. If you and everybody else can manage to stay calm and grounded, because my bad, it's a lot of stuff happening in the world, and yeah, like I said, it is going to trickle down. It is going to affect us eventually, sooner rather than later, but it is going to affect us. And this sucks. I'm sorry. I was playing this fireplace thing, and it went off, and I needed to come back on. Anyway, yeah, it's gonna trickle down to us, and so while we keep sit up and watch all these things happen, like, we do have to govern ourselves accordingly, and so we can't just operate, like, walk around in a bubble and think that, okay, what they're doing over in California has no bearing on what is going on with us over here where we are. Because California is like a 2-day drive away from me. But no, it matters. It matters because it spreads. The ideas spread. For all we know, we mess around here. We have some riots over here where I'm at. I mean, I hope not, but I'm just saying, it can happen. It could happen. This golden dome that that they're talking about implementing, which has been apparently it's been an idea for at least a good 40 years now since Reagan, but now with our current administration, they're trying to really push for it. I forgot who was it, Israel, I think, that has the Iron Dome. But the Golden Dome is supposed to be even more sophisticated than what the Iron Dome is, and you know, big, really big, and you know, we can detect attacks from space and you know other stuff. All right. So, like, say there's a failure, and somebody does manage to get their missile through our dome, and then missile crashes, you know, it lands over here, and then it affects us. You know, it makes me think of like Anne Frank and the stuff that she wrote about in her journals. It's terrifying. It's very, very scary. It's very scary. But that's what it is, though. That's what it is. So there is hope. Like I said, there is hope. It's just a matter of strategy. It's just a matter of strategy and staying grounded. That's all that is. So just one more card on this topic, and then I think I'm gonna move on with my life for now. Again, innocence. Innocent child is what this is. See, a lot of common themes here about innocence, children, new beginnings. I don't think this is a case of like this song "Greatest Love of All." I believe the children are. I don't think that's what this is. This is about newness, starting over, starting something new. That's crazy. That's crazy. This is crazy. Hold on. Hey, I'm back. Psychopath. So let me refer to the book on this. It's all about naivete and Yeah, we're in a period of transition. We are in a period of transition right now. I ain't gonna say what I'm thinking. Oh, but I like this card at the bottom down here, which actually that leads me to my next topic that I wasn't gonna talk about until just now. Coven of Enlightenment is this card, right? Coven of Enlightenment. Um, this is strength and camaraderie, ascension through others. This is a little bit about what I was saying, talking about having your own village, own personal village, and gatekeeping and all of that jazz. Um, I've been trying to think about or decide what I wanted to do with my YouTube channel because I don't know if I want to be a big YouTuber. I don't think I do. I don't think I want any of that, honestly. I just post whenever. Because of some things, for one, I don't feel comfortable with posting. And then there are things that I just don't want to post. And I don't want to be beholden to that, folks looking for me. I have a blog. I'm more of a writer anyway than I am a video person, so I will write all day long. But I started recording videos because of I would have certain types of sessions that I couldn't just write about. I just found it easier to record them as opposed to trying to write down and remember everything that happened. So I posted on my blog a few days ago about which direction I wanted to take my blog in, and kind of going to do the same thing with the YouTube channel as far as pivoting a little bit, like still do tarot cards and everything, but I don't think I'm focused so much on like celebrities and stuff because yeah. So I thought about sharing more of the sessions that I've had with celebrities in the past. Like it's some of them I've had a few, had more than one session with, and I thought they were interesting conversations. Like everything is not. I kind of like having some stuff to myself. But then I thought about just posting it on my blog because I don't have as many people don't read blogs like they used to, and so it seems like a safer space to share stuff because not as many people will go there in the first place. They see too many words and they gotta read too much. It's sad to say, but yeah, they see too many words and start reading and realize that they have to read for longer than a minute. Then they leave, and so therefore I could put a lot of my thoughts and conspiracies and whatnot into the blog, without as much fear of repercussion, because it's not as much of a threat anymore. But I've been wanting to have like something of a community where I could share my findings with people. I mean, I don't want to say start a cult or anything like that, but I've had these kind of divine revelations and things that have been revealed to me by spirit, and I want to tell somebody about it, but I don't want to just put it up on YouTube, because YouTube is It's such an oxymoron. Like, while there's so much censorship and everything on YouTube, it's also the wild, wild west. Like, you know, I want to have a truly safe space. That's what I'm saying. And so for now, that's my blog. But I even want to have a space or like a group of people where we share experiences or share what we've learned from whatever, and we can have like an intelligent conversation, or as intelligent of a conversation as it can be, while we're talking about esoteric topics, you know. So I'm still working on that. I am still working on it. But to have a little mini coven, I guess you call it, you know, it kind of be cool. Cause I've always wanted to have stuff like that, like, cause back when, when I was, Christian, me and my friends, we used to do Bible studies together, and so, hell, I'd basically be the leader. Now, we would take turns leading, but kind of felt like I was the thought leader when it came to doing Bible study. And let's not be tooting my own horn or anything like that. It's just, you know, that's just what it was. You know. And I have been told that that's what I'm supposed to be doing anyway, you know. So what are you doing? There's a seven of swords. Two of coins and the eight of cups in reverse. I didn't have a question at all. I'm just sitting here shuffling cards and looking at them. Those don't look very good to me at all, but I don't look it good at all. I don't look very good at all. It's a nine of swords reversed, ace of wands reversed, and then there's a star. I don't know. I think she confirming everything that I was saying about this whole safe space thing, and that YouTube is not the place for it. I hear you. I do. I do. The Page of Cups, Ten of Wands, and the Empress reversed again. So no, YouTube is not the place for it. YouTube is not the place for where I would share what I have experienced, my findings. I can't guard the YouTube channel the way that I could if I were to have my own little secret circle. And there's a Ten of Swords, Queen of Pentacles. It will be the end of me. it would be the end of me because I given too much. If I like Ten of Swords, the Queen of Pentacles, and then the Five of Coins, or Five of Pentacles, like that would be, it would not put me in a good place if I were to continue. Not saying that I can't post on YouTube at all, but just saying that, like, on the topic of me sharing more of the deeper stuff that I've learned from everything from, psychology to astronomy, like it's all interlinked, right? Because like I said, it ain't for everybody. It's not for everybody. Gatekeeping is not a bad word. It's not. And so I keep getting cards about betrayal. I keep getting cards about betrayal because I think that's what will happen. I don't know how it would look, but I would be leaving myself to be vulnerable if I were to continue, or if I were to really try to talk about what's really on my mind, right? Yeah. I would make myself very, very vulnerable if I did that. If I said everything that I wanted to say, if I shared all the things that I would want to share with the general public, because you just never know who's watching or whose radar you would end up on. I'm just sitting here pulling cards, and like I said, I know I haven't asked a specific question. I don't even know if I'm gonna share this. I may or I may not. I'm just sitting here rambling, but it's not for me to share everything. Like High Priestess, is some things you need to keep to yourself, Miss Lady, because you are playing a dangerous game. You are playing a dangerous game with folks that you learn things about, or with these concepts that you learn about, that some folks would just be looking at you crazy if you told them, regardless of how much truth there is to them. It's like, so just stop. It's like, just stop. Just hold on to it. Just hold on to it, because these are not good people. So, okay, I will be obedient. I will be obedient to that. Which is why some of these folks shall remain nameless. Like I said, I don't think it's that hard to figure out who I was talking about. But, some of these folks who have the really popular YouTube channels, the YouTube psychics or whatever, I'm gonna shut up about them too. I'm gonna just hush. I ain't saying they all bad or anything like that. I'm just saying that some of them, some of them be interesting. Some of them be interesting. Let's say that. Anyway, yeah, I think I got it all out. I think I got it all out. So it's a full moon, y'all. Let's see what comes next.